Polling stations in Namibia's capital, Windhoek, stayed open hours later than planned as hundreds were still queuing to cast their votes in the early hours of Thursday. The election sees the ruling Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, face the strongest challenge yet to its 34-year grip on power. Logistical issues on Wednesday left thousands of citizens waiting in queues to vote in pivotal presidential and legislative elections, some for up to 12 hours, with polling stations staying open hours later than planned. Well, joining me to speak more on the election, I do have someone joining me all the way from Namibia. Well, I have the lead youth commander from Namibia, Duminga Ndala. Ndala, thank you so much for joining me this very morning.
Good morning to your listeners and viewers. It's always a pleasure
All right.
being here.
Can you tell us how the ECN plans to address concerns of voter suppression and, most importantly, frustration caused by the long waiting time, especially in light of allegations from opposition parties like the IPC?
Thank you so much. We all know that yesterday Namibians took to the poll to vote for the candidates of the National Assembly as well as the presidential candidate. I think the voting process started quite smoothly, but we realized that during the voting process, a lot of polling stations ran out of ballot papers countrywide, and a lot of verification machines of the ECN stopped working. So the frustration started growing, especially among the electorates that came out in their numbers to register to vote. This year, according to the statistics, about 65% of young people came out to vote, and they wanted to renew their mandate. Unfortunately, they could not happen because polling stations were due to close at 9 o'clock in the evening, and most of young people could not cast their vote. So there has really been a growing frustration, and the ECN has not really addressed the important stakeholders in this case, which is the political parties and various election observers. What they rather said was just to release a press statement to say that we should remain put and that they will pronounce themselves in due course. But we have seen that hours later, when a lot of people went back to their respective homes, they had released a press statement stating that polling stations should be open and all those that have not casted their vote should be able to cast their vote. But that directive came around 12 o'clock in the evening when a lot of people were frustrated from standing in long queues, and a lot of people were already turned back to home by the members of the security cluster. So I think these elections, we can't really say that it's going to be free and fair, because as we speak, there's currently some polling station around the country that people are still voting, and some have begun the counting process. So it's a mess, and we hope that the ECN is able to account to the electorates, which are the Namibian people in this case.
All right. Given the technical failures that delayed voting, what steps will the ECN take to improve the reliability and, of course, functionality of electronic voter identification systems for future elections?
As of now, they have not pronounced themselves, but we do know that they have scheduled a meeting with all political parties at 12 o'clock. And during that meeting, that's when they are going to pronounce themselves as to how they are going to go about it next year, because next year we also have regional and local election, as well as 2019, where we have the national and presidential elections. But I think with the ECN, they have complained that they have not anticipated such a high turnout of voters. But it's actually very funny, because at the beginning of the year, when the statistics were released, we were told that about 1.4 million Namibians have registered to vote, or they are rather eligible to vote, and that the ECN had printed 3 million ballot papers. So there's no way that all polling stations were going to run out of ballot papers. So basically, this was just an attempt from the ECN to frustrate the voters and perhaps to slow down the voting process. But we are hopeful, and we believe that the new dawn is going to come in Namibia and new government will take over.
All right. Let me ask again, how will the government ensure that the voices of young voters who often face challenges assessing polling stations or dealing with technical issues are heard, and that they are not disenfranchised by logistical problems?
I mean, it's a sad state of reality. Already, a lot of young people were complaining that, especially first-time voters, they have came out in their numbers that this is the first time where they're actually motivated to cast their votes, but there has been a lot of logistical planning. Unfortunately, the only platform that we can, as young people, air our concerns is through our political parties because they are given a platform where they have the public platform with the ECN where one can air their views. But for now, like I said, the ECN has not done anything. Young people have taken to social media to really register their dissatisfaction with the ECN and the voting process. But unfortunately, that has not really grown or that has not really attract a lot of young people. So I think as it stands, we are going to have to wait for ECN and on their pronunciation at 12 o'clock. And we hope whatever is going to be discussed in the meeting, it will be in the benefit of young Namibians, especially young people.
Anyway, I want to say thank you so much for joining us, Lead Youth Commander from Namibia, Duminga Ndala. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.